certified master inspector. I've been inspecting for full-time, professionally, about 8 years. In April will be 8 years. I'm approaching my 4,000th home inspection. I'm somewhere between 3,750 and 4,000 or so. So hoping to hit that this year. Before we get into the presentation game, I want to give a shout out to Nikolai and Cindy Plus Photography. Hey!
So cool.
Oh, nice. Good stuff there. Very cool. Okay, of course, I also have to do the obligatory family update.
Yes.
So, we welcomed our little guy, middle of November, Colin, he's on the bottom right there. Older brother Liam is 2.5, and we are adjusting to becoming party of 4 right now. Everything's wonderful there. Okay, so we are going to play a game today, as I mentioned. This game is going to kind of tie into some old presentations I've done. I have done in the past a presentation on how I categorize defects in a home inspection: minor, moderate, and major concerns. So today we're going to play minor, moderate, or major. What we're going to do is look through a handful of pictures. These are actual defects that were in home inspection reports from this last week. So with a show of fingers, or you can yell out to me, minor, moderate, or major, as we look through all of these photos. On the far right-hand side of every picture, we're going to see a little bit of detail on where we are in the house, what we're looking at, why it's a concern, what some options are to address some of those, or who to contact to get that. So we're going to get right into it. Our first one, kind of a layup here. One of my go-to inspector gadgets, which you've all seen, is a thermal camera. Thermal imaging, what we're looking at here is a very dark, cold spot in a ceiling. Above this area is a bathroom. What do we think? Are we minor, moderate, major? We got some 2s, we got some 3s, some moderates, some majors. This is in fact a major concern. So what this was active moisture in the ceiling. I don't have in the presentation here, but a video of that moisture meter going around that dark circle, showing that there was an active leak from a toilet up above this area in the ceiling. Our next photo, this is a good one. So this is commonly referred to as a corner pop on a foundation. So this is on the exterior of the house. What do we think about this? Minor, moderate, major. I see a lot of 3s, I see some 2s, I see a 1. This is actually a 2. This is a moderate concern. Typically, I would even sometimes consider this a minor concern, but I did note this as moderate because of the extra cracking that we're seeing here. This is a common spot for foundations to pop, as they call it. When soil shifts, swells, settles, sinks around that corner, that's the weakest part, that 90-degree angle of that foundation. So this is a moderate concern, very common to see, but typically it's not a big deal. Next, driveway. Kind of hard to see here. This is just a driveway, big crack right across the center of the driveway. What do we think here? Minor, moderate, major, lots of 1s. I think everybody's right here. This is minor. I make the joke about concrete in Colorado. There are 2 types. There's cracked concrete and there's concrete that hasn't been poured yet. It is going to happen. Things shift and settle and move. Seal this crack up. This is typically a DIY fix here. Very common. This is kind of a layup for everybody, and Brian Late and I talked about we should have kind of worked in conjunction. This is kind of what he was talking about. So these are 2 different attic spaces. We're going to first focus on this picture and this picture here. What do we think about these photos? Minor, moderate, major. See lots of 3s. Layup here. This is definitely a major concern. So photo on the left, photo on the top. This was a north-facing slope of a roof. Hard to see in these photos here, but a lot of these nail heads are rusted and they were actively wet. So we had a concern with ice damming on the front slope of this north-facing roof. This was confirmed. We took a sample. It was confirmed to be mold. The other pictures here on the bottom and right, this was a different home. There was an indoor pool in the basement of this house. The humidity levels in this house were off the charts. What we're seeing here was air leakage from the humidity into the attic space from the inside of the house. So the mold that we see in these first 2 photos, it's not always as obvious. Sometimes you really got to get in there and do a little bit closer look.
Side note, that work vent obviously wasn't working well.
Correct. Okay, this picture. This is a dryer vent. What do we think? 2, 3, 1, 3, lots of 3s here, a couple 1s. I consider this a 2, a moderate concern. This is a very easy thing to address. So this is a dryer vent that exhausts through the roof. What's interesting about this is a warranty inspection. This house was less than a year old. Had a family of 4, so they're doing a lot of laundry. However, this is a good representation of in even just a year's time, how much lint builds up in your dryer vent. With this being on a roof, when we get snowy days, snow's going to cover that termination, the dryer's going to turn on, it's going to melt that snow. That snow is then going to turn to ice once that dryer vent shuts off. The mix of all that ice, all that lint is going to clog that up. Other times of year, it can definitely be a fire hazard. So definitely something to be aware of. Easy to address, but a very common thing to see. All right, this is, I believe, our last photo here. I drew some arrows so that we had a better idea of what we're looking at. So in a garage door, far right-hand side, you can see this is called a lift cable. That lift cable is starting to fray. What do we think? 1, 2, 3, some threes, some ones. This is a major concern. This is something that needs to be addressed relatively soon. Garage doors, I typically tell people this is the heaviest moving piece of equipment in your house. The lift cables that spool up on either side of that garage door retain a lot of the weight of that door as it opens and closes. So if that cable were to fail, we could be looking at serious injury or property damage there. So that was it for all of our photos, guys. Thank you for playing along with me. What we saw today, what I really wanted to put some focus on is during my inspections, I am everywhere in the house. We looked at the exterior, we looked at the roof, we looked at the attic, we're inside the house, we're in the basements. We are going through the house with a fine-tooth comb. I am trying to get everywhere in that house. If I can get my eyes and hands on it, I'm gonna get it looked at during an inspection. Best referrals for me, as always, any realtors that you know, new agents who have yet to establish a good book of referrals, I would love an introduction to them. First-time home buyers, I love working with younger first-time home buyers who don't know a whole lot about houses. This is kind of what I do, is help educate people as we go through these homes. And of course, new construction homeowners, everybody who lives in a new house, coming up on that 1-year warranty, we can get that dryer vent looked at and make sure that it's going. That's it, guys.